Welcome back to a massive episode where we'll give you a detailed rundown of our Troopy 12 months down the track. Please join us as we share our experiences so far in relation to the build. We hope you enjoy it. Welcome back. We thought we would do something a little bit different this weekend. We are down at Bailing Up, but in between Bailing Up and Nannup this weekend for just a camping couple of nights, and we thought we would run you through some of the things that we have done on the Troopy almost 1 year down the track since we completed it to a livable standard. We've still got a couple of things that we want to do, but we're really happy with it. So we thought we'd share with you how we fitted out the Troopy. And a couple of weeks ago we put out a Q&A to see if you guys had any questions. For those of you that haven't watched our channel before, we have been doing this for almost a year, the YouTube thing, and we set out to start off showing you what we had done originally. But 12 months down the track, we've done a few extra things, and we just want to share those with you. The flies are bad, so please excuse the big March flies buzzing around.
It's a big unit.
All right, so do you want to start off with one of the questions?
Yeah, so one of them was your best mod and why. Yeah.
We pondered over this one.
We pondered over this one because... yeah, there's been a lot of things done, but I think the best modification to a Troopy, in my opinion, has to be the roof conversion.
Yeah, agreed.
And it doesn't really matter what brand or type of roof conversion you've done. It's about having the conversion and that giving you the ability to basically to live inside the car when you need to move around inside the car and to fit it out accordingly. So yeah, I think it's basically the reason why we bought the Troopy in the first place.
Yep, yeah. For sure. It was previously we have had an 80 series with a rooftop tent on the outside, just on the roof, and for us, and you know, going away and doing bigger trips, it was easier for us to be able to live inside the car. We got caught in a couple of hairy storms where we had to get out of the tent, put it down and hop in the car and just sit in the car for the night, which wasn't ideal. And that made us think that maybe long term that wasn't the right idea. Just personally, I think there's a lot of people that, you know, are pro and cons for different rooftop conversions, but I think everyone has their own what works for them. And we're not, you know, promoting this particular tent. We do love this conversion, but you know, whatever works for you. But the idea of a rooftop conversion, most definitely the best mod that we've done on the car.
Yeah,
we'll run you through the tent in a little while if you're interested. It changes everything about camping as well. It changes the whole way you go about camping, we believe, for all types of weather and all types of terrain. So you're not towing, you've got your bed and everything, it's all there. Yeah. Enough said?
Yeah. It can make you soft.
We're not soft.
Eh? When it gets a bit cold, you can hop inside and shut the door.
That's true, but that's not a bad thing.
Going soft.
Okay. No. On the another mod that we really like, or Paul said this was one of his best mods was.
Oh, so now we're talking small scale things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the air compressor outlet on the side of the car. I love that thing. So back in the day, we'd chug around the old air compressor in the bag, and I just used to find it a major chore just to find a place to hide that thing.
In actual fact, you probably wouldn't air down as often as you needed to because it was such a pain. We'd sometimes just, airing down is the right thing to do to save the tracks. And sometimes we'd think,
do we
it's
really
just a
need
pain.
to?
Do we really need to because of the air compressor issue?
Yeah, but having that outlet on the side just makes everything so much easier.
Yep.
You don't have to lug around the compressor. It's built into the side of the car. Yeah, and just plug it in and away you go.
Yep, awesome. Small scale things for me. We've only used it once, but it was an absolute lifesaver for that time, was the Sirocco fan inside. So anyone that's got a Sirocco fan will know exactly what we're talking about. We were up in north of Broome earlier in the year, and the humidity was ridiculous and the heat was ridiculous. And if it wasn't for the Sirocco fan, which we have put inside so that it can blow on us when we're asleep, I don't think we would have survived staying there. We would have certainly survived, but we would have left and cut the holiday short, I think. It was an absolute game changer in relation to the length of time that we stayed at a place that could have been quite uncomfortable. So we definitely would recommend those. And that's quite a cheap mod to do to your car, isn't it? Yep. Another question on the list was, where's the rear bar from?
Thorburn and Sons. They're out of New South Wales. It's a really nice, really well made bar. So you can option it either with a dual wheel carrier or wheel and double jerry that we had originally. And then we took that double jerry holder off and replaced it with the barbecue box. Yeah, that was always, so we started off with the double jerry can holder, and we just used to carry 20 litres of water and 20 litres of extra fuel. But the reality is there's a 180 litre fuel tank, or 290 litre fuel tanks with a Troopy anyway, and that'll get you a fair distance. So the extra 20 litres was barely worth lugging around. We've never had an issue with that. And then once we had the water tank installed under the car, so there's a 90 litre water tank under the car. Once we had that, then we decided that carrying another 20 litres of water on the back in jerry cans was not really required, and we always wanted to be able to put a barbecue on the back.
Yeah.
We find that comes in, it's more use to us than carrying more jerry cans.
Oh, definitely. So, barbecue.
Yeah, so that's
barbecue is life for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So those that haven't seen this thing,
the barbecue box.
Yeah. So the little Weber,
baby Weber,
lives in there. Yeah, and that's pretty good. One thing, these bags here from Undercover Australia. So in this one here, we've got the old pizza stone and trays, and then this one here, we actually keep the plates. So the actual Weber plates are in there, and a couple of other racks, racks and things. So rookie mistake, the first time we put this on and went out on a corrugated road, the plates just fairly jumped around all over the place
and rattled, because it's all those metal racks.
Came loose, they bounced around, and we didn't even give it a second thought. So yeah, that's when I tracked down these bags, and they're really good quality.
So who are they from?
Undercover Australia.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Just ordered them online. Great value, great product, and they're made specifically for the plates and the pizza stone. Highly recommend.
Another question that we got asked was, what do you like and dislike about the roof conversion? What's your first like or dislike?
Likes the rainfly on the back.
Yep.
So over the back window of the alley cab conversion is quite a large rainfly, which means that we can leave that back window at least pretty much open, well, probably 2/3 of the way through any weather, and let air flow in without the risk of rain getting in. That also helps condensation.
Yeah, we don't have any problems with
so
that.
There's no problems with condensation in there. Yeah, it's
important to us.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and even the side windows. So we generally will leave them open a bit at night. But if there's rain around and we have to close them, because it'll definitely drift in if you leave them open in the rain. So if the side windows even have to be zipped up pretty much all the way, that one on the back can be open all the time.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
That's a good feature.
But yeah, we've never had a problem ever with condensation, and we've been in all kinds of weathers, so it's been good. I really like the dark canvas. Again, that's a choice thing depending on the brand of conversion you get. We like the dark. I mean, we're not great sleepers, so I think that's probably for us the ideal situation, because with light canvas we'd sleep even less.
Yeah. Well, too much light gets in very early in the morning.
So I mean, that's a choice thing, and enough said on that. I think the dark canvas for us works well.
Yeah.
And
it's just a heavier duty canvas, I think.
Yeah, we really like that.
Yeah. One of the other things is that parcel shelf along the at the front.
Oh, above the driver and passenger. Yeah.
You can get so much stuff up there. It's really handy for
everything. Map books, hats, all the sunglasses, all those things that you need.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, that parcel shelf is in the AUTOMOTIVE roof conversion. I don't know if it's in any other kind.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but we have an AUTOMOTIVE if we haven't said that already. So yeah, anything that you need, we have the iPad up there, which we have our mapping system on. There's a whole bunch of things, but warning, warning from Paul's perspective, or torches, when you're on bumpy tracks, things can fly off the parcel shelf if they're not secured. He has a few bumps on his head to prove that, but yeah, otherwise it's great. We usually put all our books and all those things we need in and pack them in with beanies and things and hats to stop them from flying off the shelf. But it is really deep and it's really handy, so you're not reaching around in the car for map books and things. That's a really good one. I just want to add that I really like about the conversion is, again, this is an AUTOMOTIVE thing, I don't know if it's with other tents. When you push the bed up inside, it has like a carpet on it, and we've got a whole range of storage on that is velcroed onto the carpet.
On the underside.
On the underside, so it stays on all the time. In this, living in sort of, I won't say a tiny home, but I will. Living in a Troopy, you need as much storage as you can. That's not taking up into your living space, and that stops that from happening with us. We've got lots and lots of space and lots of storage on the roof, which is, as I said, carpeted and allows Velcro to be put onto that. Yeah.
And probably the only other thing is the full length. So the bed is the entire length of the car. Well, the entire length of the roof. So we'll give you a bit of a rundown of it, but it's basically there's a smaller trapdoor at the rear, which, when that is down, can be used as a bit of a
out of the bed,
bit of a bench.
Oh yeah, like a
to
seat
sit on during the day if you want to.
You have seen that in some of our other videos if you've watched them, but we'll show you again. Yeah.
And then when you close all that up at night, you've got a bed that's effectively almost 2.4 metres long, Yeah.
And we're not tall people, so there's plenty of room in there for us.
That was massive, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in terms of dislikes, there's probably a couple of things. I don't know if all rooftop tents are the same, but the mattress was, for us, it was way too firm.
Yeah.
So it has a 70mm high density foam mattress, which was just it's too hard. For our liking. So we pretty much turfed that straight away, and we got a mattress. Again, it's only 70mm, but it's an inner spring with foam that we ordered through BCF. They have an arrangement with SLUMBERREST, I think, where you give them the dimensions of the mattress required, and they'll order it, and it gets made up in the eastern states somewhere, and then sent back. So there's a bit of a wait process, but you end up with a decent mattress. Subsequent to that, we do run a little, just a little topper.
As he said before, we're getting soft.
Yeah. So we've got a bit of one of those egg crate, whatever you call them, mattress topper things, tucked up there as well.
It's fine.
It makes the whole thing a hell of a lot more comfortable. Yeah.
If you haven't seen the AUTOMOTIVE bed before set up, this is what it looks like from the end of the bed. I'm standing up at the moment, and I can do that because there's a trapdoor behind me that opens up to allow me to stand. The bed's quite long. It goes through to the front of the cab, and that is quite long enough for us. We're not overly tall people, but we're fine. It would be fine for most people. How long is the bed?
1.85, then another half metre.
Okay, the bed's 1.85 metres long as is now, and then there's another half a metre when you pull down the trapdoor. Yeah, so I'm going to push the bed up. And as you can see, the bed goes through to the front of the cab there, and that's all the storage that we were talking about before. I'm just going to climb up onto the bed and show you how the trapdoor works. Okay, so now I'm sitting up on the bed, and Paul's packing up outside. This is what the end of the bed looks like. So I'm up here now. Now you can sleep with that up if you want to, if you don't need the extra length in the bed. But if you want the extra length, this part pulls down and provides the extra length in the bed. So you can use, this is actually another part of the mattress that we had made up, which is inner spring, the same as the top part. So two separate parts, and then that just lifts it slightly. And then, yeah, that's the extra part of the bed. And then to lift it up, basically, it's just lift up the trapdoor, and then you can get out that way. If you're not going out for the day, we just leave the bed made up. Otherwise, we pack it up a little bit better. But yeah, that's how the bed works in here. And as you saw, it goes up to the roof, so you can stand up inside the cab.
And then probably the only other thing that AUTOMOTIVE owners would be aware of, I think everybody is aware of, the latches on the back of these things can be problematic. We have had one break. That just meant that it needed to be replaced. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, but there is a change on the way. We've actually managed to get hold of a couple of them, and I've got one of them on the car now.
We're actually communicating with our AUTOMOTIVE regularly about, you know, that.
Yeah. So they've had a prototype thing that they've been trialling, I think, and like everything, this thing just
takes a while.
Takes months and months. But the end result will be that you won't need to take the whole latch off. There's just a replacement part that'll be a hell of a lot stronger than the original. So hopefully that is not too much longer before that becomes available for people to
That'd probably be on
buy
the
as
new
a part, and then I would imagine that they will come out
As part of the
as
new
part of
tents.
the new run of tents, whenever that happens to be. I still reckon it's a few months away, but it'll be good once they sort out that problem, because that's about the only real issue we've ever had with it.
Yeah. Another question we had, that was engine mods. Anything done? I'll let Paul address this one.
Yeah, so we had the Safari RMAX ECU module installed. So that has 5 different settings. Actually, one of them just returns it to standard. So there's basically 4 settings plus standard. Couple that give more power, and then a couple that are designed for towing and low range track use, that type of thing. Coupled with the Safari snorkel and a Torque 3.5 inch exhaust DPF back system. So that all together is, I think it's something that has noticeably improved the drivability of the car. It gives you a reasonable amount more power without being a ridiculous tune.
One other thing that I just thought of, it's not an engine mod. What about the GVM upgrade? Do you want to just mention what we've had done on that too? Because it's obviously there's a lot gone on there.
Oh yes, so not engine related, but suspension related.
Yeah.
So we've gone with the Dobinsons. It's basically a 2-inch lift, and the remote res shocks. You can make any amount of adjustments to those that you like, but at this point I haven't really needed to tinker around with it. It's set up pretty nicely. Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, definitely needed it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's a fair bit of weight going on there.
Yeah, the original suspension obviously started to sag once we started adding stuff to it. So we were always going to do that.
Next question is, do you use your shower much, and was it worth it? So Paul's just set it up. We're not using it this weekend, but we've set it up just to show you. So I'll let Paul talk you through it.
Do we use it much? Probably not at this stage. We've used it a handful of times. When we are doing more permanent travelling, it'll get a fair workout. But at this stage, we haven't used it. We haven't used it an awful lot. We just haven't needed to. But I'm sure that's going to change.
And how does it work?
I mean, like all of them, they're just basically a cube that comes out
from the... It's got a little shelf up the top there as well. You can put your shampoo and soap on.
I haven't pegged it down, so it's flapping around a little bit, but
yep.
You get the drift. And then the shower. I'll give you a demo, hang on.
Yep. So this works well with the, obviously we had the gull wings put in on the side, so one of the added benefit of having those is that we can access the shower outlet through the gull wing, and the shower is placed next to the gull wing, so we can still open the gull wing. So he's gonna, whoa. And is the water hot? It is, it's warming up now. Yep, so do you want to talk about the water? Don't you dare, monster. Okay, they've seen water before. It gets a bit excited. All right, so can you talk about the water and how the shower works?
Yep, I'm just going to turn that pump off.
Yep.
Hot water system inside the vehicle, DUOETTO.
DUOETTO. We'll put a link down below.
Yeah. So basically you turn that on. I don't know, I think they reckon maybe half hour or so before you want a hot shower. Let the thing warm up.
You can set the temperature on it too, can't you?
Yeah. So the tap here adjusts for hot and cold through on the side there. And there's a panel inside the back of the car. You might want to just...
Yep, I'll come around.
And if you can see that,
The blue panel that's up there
and the little dial.
next to
So
it.
currently it's on 40.
I don't know if you can see that far. The orange is 40 degrees,
Yeah.
which is the water temperature.
Yeah, so you set that to whatever you want. Wait for maybe half an hour and away you go.
So while we're at the back of the car, a couple of questions, the most asked questions probably that we get asked about the Troopy is these two items here on the back of the car. The dirty gear bag on the back and this baby up here, the gas bottle holder. So we will tell you all about them, and I may as well give you the big product promotion here.
Yeah.
The dirty gear bag is from PM Canvas Products, and Paul will talk about that.
Yeah, look, I think we've talked about this before in a previous video, but anyone that's got one of these things just knows how good a quality it is. They will tailor make these things for your requirements, basically. So that means with or without these pouches on the side. So
it's just really good quality. It's just great quality canvas.
Yeah. So we just carry like here's all our
that's another,
how's
another
this one?
promotion product.
Yeah, if you haven't got these as tie downs for your awning or your tent or whatever, get on board. TIEGEAR, damn good stuff.
Just happens to fit in the pouch.
Yeah. Shameless plug. But yeah, it'll just carry so much stuff, and it's so well made, and yeah, that this thing here, we have pointed this out before, but I've got a separate bag just wedged in between the wheel and this one. I've got another bag hooked in here. It's locked at the minute, but we carry a fire pit.
Collapsible fire pit.
We carry the collapsible fire pit in there, which keeps it out of the car. That was a genius idea, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
And then, without a word of a lie, the most asked question I reckon we ever get about anything on this car is this bloody gas bottle holder. So, this gas bottle holder, we ordered that through a fella by the name of Nathan, who runs an Instagram page called Oz Adventurers.
Yeah.
We'll put that up on the screen.
Yeah.
He makes these for 2 kilo and 4 kilo bottles. And it's just an absolute ripper, hey. Yeah.
So how do they get hold of him? How can they get hold of him?
Just through sending a message to his Instagram page, Oz Adventurers.
Oz O-Z?
OZ, yeah, yeah. I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
But, yep, that's the best way to contact him.
And he's still making them, apparently.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yep. I think we must have sent about 100 people his way.
Know,
but
if I had $1 for everybody that's asked me the question as to where it came from, I'd be
rich.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
And I'm not anymore. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Another question that we got asked was, what is something that you can't do without in your setup? So we kind of straight away both agreed that our tables, so this is one of them. This one is on the back door. It is drop down table from
Patrol Australia.
Patrol Australia. Yep. A lot of the time we will only use this part, but it has got the capability to go out to twice as long, which is really handy. I don't know, food prepping, or we can even cook, if it's windy, we can even cook putting the companion stove on either one of these, usually this one, and it stops the burners from blowing out, etc. Yeah, we don't use the extended part that much, do we?
No,
but
really.
It's just another option. And the other table that we've got is obviously the MaxTrax table. MaxTrax are fastened into the underside. This is the first thing that we put down when we pull up at camp. We use it every single time we're camping. We've only just got back in just now, so that's why it hasn't got anything on it at the moment, but it always has something on it, and it's always the first thing that we set up. Another question was about something,
things you can't do without.
Things that you can't do without, and this is number one.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do without this. Our jet ball we've had since the very beginning of our camping setup, even in our other car.
Yeah,
and every single day we use the jet boil. We've got the accessories that also go on the top. So we've got, you can set it up so you can get like a pan that you can heat things up on it as well if you arrive somewhere late at night. Yeah, it's got all sorts of gizmos, and I believe there's even more stuff out now that you can actually buy to fit on a jet boil, but honestly we would not go without this, and we would highly recommend it. And it's small enough that it can pack away, pack away in a small space, which is ideal for camping. So they're pretty much the things. The other thing that we wouldn't probably do without is a lot of our collapsible stuff. So collapsible bowls, collapsible kettle. We've got a collapsible kettle, and our washing up bowl, which is collapsible, because we don't have a sink inside. And that was actually another question. Do you have a sink? If so, why? If not, why not? Do you want to answer that one? Why do we not have a sink inside?
Well, one, I think it takes up far too much space. Like you basically eat into your cupboards by, you know, the depth of your sink.
Yeah, I know a lot of people though have covers on their sinks as well, which works for them. But for us, we just have a collapsible bowl, which we wash up at the end of every day and sort our dishes out. So, yep, a good old collapsible bowl, fits in the cupboard. That's our washing up. Nice and easy, and we use our drop-down table again. So, yep.
I'd much rather wash up outside than in there.
Yeah, agreed. Just while we've got the back door going on like this is a little addition that we've just added. It's the fly screen. We're not overly 100% stoked on it yet as far as how it attaches, but we reckon it's been a lifesaver today. Hey, we haven't
flies out,
we haven't been away with it. We've only just put it on in the last couple of weeks, and it's all magnets, so it magnetizes together, and it
we've got to tidy this garbage up at the bottom,
but we've had some pretty big March flies around today, and one got in the back, but that's only because we didn't shut the curtain properly. But yeah, it's been actually really good. So we've just got to do, as I said, a couple of adjustments, but we're really happy with that. And we just made that ourselves from, where'd you buy it from?
Bunnings, $20.
Yeah, a $20 curtain from Bunnings, and just adapted it to suit the size of the door, and we shortened it. Did we shorten it?
Yeah, shortened it down.
Put some magnets in the bottom, and that attached to the car.
Used bits of leftover magnet that were in here.
Yeah.
Chucked them in the bottom.
Yep.
And it's all velcroed in. Across the top inside.
It's pretty good. We sat with the actual back doors open all night last night, not all night, but when we were in the car before we went to bed, and no bugs came in, so that's been an absolute winner. Okay, we had another question. How do you guys work the privacy with as far as the rooftop tent goes? So how do we keep it private?
Solar screens, basically. So we decided against curtains. I guess your two options are put curtains up against the windows or some kind of privacy screen.
Yeah.
So we're using the solar screens, which it's probably not a good.
Over this side?
Yeah. So this screen here, that just suction cups onto the window, and then during the day when I'm driving, because I like to see out of this window, I just take that screen off, and then this magnetic shade screen just pops back over the top.
Yep.
And I can see through that.
Yep. The cab.
Front windows, yeah. Same in the front windows, basically. We don't always use them. It just depends. Like we have a curtain that's over here that we can just slide across here. So sometimes we just slide the curtain across. And
depends where we're camping.
Yeah, it just depends where we are. If we want a bit of extra privacy, or even if it's sort of hot during the day, we might throw up the solar screens and leave them on.
Yeah.
But we don't use those. We don't use them a hell of a lot.
No, we don't. We don't need them on the back windows here though, because we've got gull wings on these.
Yeah.
So, but we have put some insulation on the inside of the gull wings to save the heat a little bit. Yeah. On both of those.
But I'm thinking again with those of having because I did have solar screens when those windows were the glass windows. I did have solar screens for them, and I'm thinking of getting them cut to shape and doing those properly and getting rid of this stuff. It does help with the heat.
Yep.
Obviously, just not the light, but
the heat.
But the heat, yeah.
Yep.
And we have them on the back windows.
Yeah. Back windows. I'll just on the back windows. That one too, and we've got the storage bag over the top of that one as well. When we're driving, also Paul folds that one over halfway and just hooks it onto the other half so that he can see out the back window as well.
So one of the other questions was, where does your fridge live? Basically that's it here, across behind the passenger seat. Why did we put it there? Well, I guess probably the more popular choice seems to be to have it on the side here. Yeah. But a couple of reasons I suppose we put it here. Firstly, so this is the 75 litre dual zone from Dometic. It's quite a big fridge. It's quite a big fridge, quite heavy when it's full. So we wanted it up in the centre of the car mainly just for weight distribution. And probably the other reason was when you put it over the side of the car here, it would probably mean depth-wise it would come out to about here. So then you're bringing everything this way to keep it in line, which means your middle aisle then shifts this way.
The seat gets smaller.
And then this seat over this side gets smaller. So if you wanted, you can't do everything. If you want to have a big fridge, you've got to find other ways to make it work. So,
and also in relation to the fridge, it turns out that it's actually a pretty good extra seat. When we had the cushions made up for the storage cupboard to make into the bench seat, we had extra cushions made for the fridge. So they're split cushions. Paul will just give you a demo of, they actually, split in half so we can open either side of the fridge at any one time. They're pretty comfy actually. It's another space to sit, isn't it? That's actually quite comfortable. Another question was, what is our electrical setup? So I'm going to hand that on to Paul because I don't understand any of that. So what is it?
So all the electrical components are in a drive. There's a 200 amp hour lithium battery, a 2000 watt inverter, and then the thing they call the there's the DC charger, and a 3-way power box thing that allows you to plug in for external power from if you're in a caravan park or something like that. So that all lives in this cupboard
around here.
Yeah, so this cupboard at the front, basically it's all behind the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's all tucked down in here behind, so it's too difficult to show because it's all packed up.
Yeah, I have some pictures of it somewhere.
Yeah, we'll put some pictures in it. Yeah,
but that's basically all of the main electrical stuff of it. Yeah, the solar panel is a 200-watt panel. It's the red arc panel.
Yeah.
And then there's just a few outlets scattered around the car. So on this panel here, there's a few switches that do various things. So that one there is for the hot water system. That one turns on the travel buddy oven. This one does nothing at the moment. There's a couple of USB outlets there. A remote switch to turn on the inverter, so that we've got power through to the back. What else? Oh, and down the back of the car, sort of down there somewhere, which you won't be able to see, but there's a few more
USB chargers.
Yeah,
and USB, we also have some here.
Yeah, and a Anderson plug outlet.
We've also got a bunch of USB chargers sitting in here which run from the inverter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got more USB chargers than you can actually poke a stick at.
Yeah.
And that panel there is for the hot water system. Can you turn it on just quickly? Or?
It was just on.
Oh, sorry. Yep, to show the temperature of the water. Yep. So that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
As far as
and I think there was a question about what would we have done differently.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I would have done this differently, but at the moment, so we don't have a 240 volt power outlet anywhere in the car, and we don't really run too many 240 volt appliances, but I have a power board here which basically plugs into the inverter in the front, so whenever we want to charge stuff, laptops, drones, that sort of stuff, when we're on the road, or any time really, we just take
that off the shelf.
Take that down off the shelf and
then put it back up here when we're not using it. It goes back in there. Another question that we had, which doesn't really relate to the Troopy, more so storage in the Troopy, is where do we put all our camera gear? We don't have a great deal of big pieces of camera equipment. We have a GoPro, we have a digital camera with quite a few lenses, so they're the biggest storage items. The answer to that is all of the camera gear, apart from the drone, go into this backpack. The bottom part has about 5 lenses. The top part has the GoPro, the lens camera, and a big, like a zip-up container with all the GoPro bits and pieces, cables, batteries, SD cards, all of that goes into a black case, which also fits in here. It has side pockets on here for the waterproof handles for the GoPro. We've got side pockets and front pockets for external portable chargers that we always have as well. The drone is in a separate bag, which is in the standard black drone case, which you can just sling over your shoulder.
Well, it's only a Mini anyway.
We only have a DJI Mini 2, which we really like. And it's easy to use, and basically when we're traveling, the camera bag sits there, so, and the drone sits there as well, so I can access them from the front. And yeah, this is a good bag for like when we're going on a hike or a walk, and it's a good sturdy backpack with padded handles. I got it off eBay. It is a camera bag. It's got sections in for the actual lenses, but we take all the lenses with us, and we probably don't need to because we basically only use 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But they're all in there. It just keeps them tidy when we're at home as well. So camera equipment, yeah, that's just our go-to. We don't put them into the cupboards. I'll let Paul talk about that because that was something he didn't want to do.
I have seen fit-outs where camera gear has a dedicated drawer. It's all nice and neat, but again, you're using upper cupboard was something that when you go out, you pretty much chuck all that stuff into a backpack anyway. So why lose a drawer for something that can just live in a backpack?
I mean, this works for us for now.
It works for us. Yeah.
If it doesn't work, we'll change it. But at the moment, that's what we do.
I think it's fine.
And our camera gear, as I said, is not massive. So, yeah. We thought we'd show you the fit out of the Troopy, starting with the downstairs bed and how it's set up. We haven't used it yet, but this is more if we get stuck in a situation where we just want to quickly stealth camp overnight. Paul's going to quickly come and show you how it's packed up. So it has a sliding base that slides back under the top of the storage chest. Like so. I know the sun's a bit bad here, sorry about that. That's it. That's all it takes to set it up. So, and the two cushions at the top end are the ones that we talked about that cover the fridge. So they're all at the same height. All right, we're inside the Troopy. We're going to show you the fit out. Paul's going to explain who we went with and...
Yeah, so the fit out was done by Odyssey Custom Fit Outs in O'Connor, WA. We basically went with them because the owner, Toby, is a Troopy owner and specialises in Troopies, knows exactly what he's doing, and it's just excellent work. Couldn't speak highly enough of them. Yeah, so I'll give you a bit of a look around.
Yep.
So I think we pointed out this tall cupboard before. Has got the electrics around the front, then a bit of storage up the top. We've just got games and magazines and that sort of stuff. Travel buddy oven comes in handy every now and then, and to be fair, we haven't used it a lot. Probably should.
We will use it more when we're on the road.
Look to use it more. Just one of those things that we kind of haven't needed to use a lot, but I'm sure it'll ramp up at some point. Just another cupboard down here where Tan keeps clothes and toiletries and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and then
start along this way.
Yeah, so this side of the fit out is just a mix of drawers and cupboards. This one here is our pantry, so we've been kind of wedging a few things in there to neaten it up a bit, a few shelves and boxes containers and stuff, just to keep it all together so it doesn't fly everywhere when you open the door. We've got it down pretty well pat now.
We've also got a, what do you call it, a Ninja blender thing that sits in there as well, and it's got plenty of room. So yeah, I think we've kind of adapted that to make work, but again, and the jet ball's in there as well, so there's a few things in there. Yeah. So that's working well for us.
That's pretty well.
Yeah.
This one here is basically kitchen, so kitchen accessories. So a bit of a tabletop to if you're stuck inside and you want to eat your dinner on there.
We're working on the laptops.
Yeah, so that just pops out, and then all the I don't know. We've just got all of our all that sort of stuff that you have
the kitchen
in a kitchen.
Collapsible bowls that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Cedar Summit,
stuff,
really good.
I think what we did with this thing is we we worked out what, like with these wine
glasses, because they're important.
Yeah, how high they were, and so the depth of this drawer needed to be whatever that worked out to be, and then we could fit kind of everything else in around there and have this top on. So that drawer was made specifically to that size so that everything would fit in, and then the next drawer below it is a bigger drawer, and that is basically the size that we had left before we put this
the little ledge.
Before we put this ledge through here to have the downstairs bed rest on.
Toby organised all that for us, though. He had all that worked out, so the dimensions and everything, so that it would all work.
So this is just another drawer really for clothes.
Saucepans.
Some saucepans live in here.
We've actually got some space at the back as well that we haven't used yet, so Paul's clothes.
Just use these storage pod things for clothes, not much in there at the moment.
We actually travel quite light as well. We're getting so much better at that with the amount of stuff we have to take. But we haven't been anywhere where it's been really cold yet, so yes, that might change.
And then there's a couple of drawers, no, not drawers, what do you call them? Cupboards.
Down here.
Cupboards down below.
I'll just move out the way so you can see what's in this one. Okay, so this one is full of all our all the other stuff, laundry gear, dishwashing, collapsible bowls. There's just a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, like you have the third drawer in the kitchen that has all the junk in it. Well, that's kind of all the bits and pieces that don't fit anywhere else, but there's still space in there as well. Chopping boards, things like that, but it's got a little bit of height underneath here as well. So there's loads of space in that cupboard. And then the other cupboard,
similar down here. We keep more bottles of water and
towels. Towels. Oh, there's some ginger beer in there as well. Rum and ginger.
Not quite water, but you get the drift.
The towels and things like that. So, and we always take the 1.5 litre water bottles with us as well, just as extra water for drinking, just in case.
So that's that part of it. Maybe we go to these drawers on the back.
Which ones?
These drawers on the back here.
Oh yes. Sorry about the sun again, guys. So we have these big slide out drawers. So these again were custom made, the right depth and etc. for us to fit specific things in. So sun's a bit of a pain. Yep, the companion cooker.
Yeah, so that just, like, we had it made that deep because it fits this cooker perfectly, and these what do you call them?
Halonox chairs.
And there's other stuff.
All the stuff, collapsible stuff in there, and some tools. But you've got a few bits and pieces of tools in there.
Yeah, they're in there.
And then this one.
And then there's another one over this side. So this has a big table in it, and we're debating what to do with this thing, because as good as it is, like, it's been used maybe a handful of times, and I'm not sure whether it's worth lugging around. There's probably other things that could go in there. We might keep it, I'm not quite sure.
We've just bought a really cool beach umbrella that's quite small that might fit in this space. So we have the drop down table here, and we also have the Max Trax table on the side, which we use all the time, as we said before. So that table, but the space is really good to use for something else. So
there's another little, there's a little cubby hole down there. There's other things. There's a fire extinguisher and heavens knows what else in there. And then this this thing here lifts up.
Do you want to go inside and then show that? Can you do that from inside? Yep. Just can't see it out here. Okay.
There's not much in here, but
all that space in there. Oh, can you see that? Yeah.
So normally when we're on the road, this thing's pretty well chock-a-block, to be honest. But at the moment, not so much. But
taking stuff
that large drawer we can access from inside the car if we need to get that sort of stuff.
Oh, the portable toilet goes in here.
That lives in here. In this kind of section here, we keep a portable toilet. It's not in there now. Yeah. But that's where that lives.
And it's usually full, but we've just
not the toilet.
No, actually that didn't sound right. No, the actual cupboard is usually full.
I don't know. I reckon that's
pretty much covers the inside.
Pretty much covers all the cupboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the fridge seat on the Troopy, this is what we've got on our, this is the door that goes down, which makes part of the bed, which folds right up. mirror patch collection, which is growing. Our Sirocco fan is mounted onto that. And here's a natty little idea. Little magnetic containers from IKEA, 3 for $12, and they are absolutely brilliant for anything storage wise because they just magnetize onto the side of the Troopy. So we have 3 of those in the car. 3 for $12, IKEA.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong, yep. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below, and we hope that we were able to provide you with some useful insights into our Troopy build. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to watch more of our future videos. Cheers!